Okay. Now, for example, if I have some random text over here, the reason why we have page breaks is because it's just like pressing multiple times enter. There are two kinds of breaks which are more commonly asked in your exam and which will come. One is the page break and one is the column break. So you have is a column break, okay, and you have is a page break, right? Section breaks you can somehow leave it. Page break simply means that if I want to take this part to the next page, obviously I can break it. And let's say if I had all this in multiple columns, I am sure you know this. If this is in multiple columns and I want this to go to the next column, I'll go for column break. Okay, so it's just because of this, these two reasons that we have this, right? Well, what else?
Sir, can you use an
Sir,
example
I
of
want to.
Yeah, okay, fine. As an example, what?
example of a table? If the table is coming in half in one column and half in the other one, so can you please do that one?
For example, let's say, let me just say, let me try to create a scenario. So let's say I have a table over here. I have a table over here, and let me just take it bit down. Now, this is not loud. Your table in any way should not be distributed in columns or should not be split between two pages. Okay, it's not loud. Absolutely not. Well, in that case, let's say you can take it to the next. Obviously, you should take it to the next page, or by pressing the backspace, you can bring it back to the previous page. There has to be consistency, and at times it's common sense that you will get an idea of what do I mean. For example, there is a heading over here. Okay, this is a heading, and let's say your heading is here and you take your table over here. Now, this again does not make sense. So it's much better that you take the heading along with the table. Okay. So this is known as a continuous document which flows with the headings, subheadings, paragraphs. This is what we have to look at. So because the question basically starts by saying that you are supposed to produce professional standard documents. So there's some set of rules that professionally you obviously have an idea what do I mean by that. You get my point. And at times what happens is, let's say this page exceeds sometimes some way like this. I've told you this before. You right click on this, you go into autofit and you say autofit to window. It will automatically adjust it. You get my point. I hope I made the point clear to some extent.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Right. Yes, better next.
Sir, I have questions regarding CSS.
Sure.
So basically, even in our mock exam, we got this question in which we had to place the image and the background, but like वो सिर्फ like एक corner में होनी चाहिए थी. So I didn't really understand that. Can we revise that?
Absolutely correct. I'll just do that.
I think that was supposed to be done by background repeat or something.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. For example, let's say I first of all I have to save this as I'm just trying to find a folder where I have image. 1 second. Mock web. Yeah, great. Okay, anyway. Here. And let's say what I'll do is just using the page properties. Okay, I'm now using CSS. So file, new, and if I add a CSS file, I can simply save it as in the same folder as my.css, and obviously I can come into the CSS And over here, what we can do is we can simply add is a new tag, okay, of the body. And over here, we can have in the background, if I have an image, most probably I do, yeah. It's a big background. I should reduce the size. Can you give me a second? Because just 1 second. For example, yeah. So I'll just copy this. And we will again, oh, I did not make it. So tag, body, okay, background, browse, let me have this and I'll apply. Now if I save all, and if I come here, obviously what you will see is after I've attached this file to it's very important that your files are organized in your exam as well. Again, bad. Anyway, this image that I have over here is too big. Oh, no problem, no problem. We should talk about this as well. So if you have this image which is covering the entire page, obviously you have to look at the resolution. What you can obviously do is you can open this in Photoshop, okay? And if the image is supposed to exactly fit the screen resolution, obviously you'll change the size of the image according to the screen resolution. You know that because the background in the HTML or CSS fits accordingly. So let me just change the image size to, let's say, and I'll 250. Yeah, I'll maintain the aspect ratio. So I'll just save it. Right now, obviously, if I come back, what you see is there's a lot of tiling appearing. Obviously, tiling should appear because that's the way background here. Now, if I come over here, I can obviously edit this, and this is what you were referring to. This is what you were referring to, which was background repeat. Do you want no repeat? If you say no repeat, in that particular case, you will see it will appear right in the left top corner. Is this what you were referring to?
Yes, sir. So, sir, can we move it to the right corner or will it stay in the left corner by default?
It will remain in the left corner. It will remain.
Right, sir.
You can repeat it horizontally or vertically. You know that, right?
Right.
Right, exactly. A very good question, but no, you can't do that. Technically, that will be a bit more difficult work to do. I don't believe they have the right and they will not ask for that.
Right.
Sir?
Yes, beta.
Sir, do we need to change the size of the picture in Photoshop or can we fit it over here to the whole screen or something?
This is what I was referring to, beta, that as far as the background is concerned, you cannot change the size of the background within CSS or HTML. As you can see over here is, in CSS, I simply have the background image, the path. And even if I come within HTML, I have no way I can change the background image. Okay, you know one thing, I can add the background through CSS. This background has been added to my HTML page through CSS. What I'm trying to say is that if I delete this link, obviously I don't have the background. But you should also know that I'm sure you know it, that if I remain within HTML, and if I go to page properties, I have background image and I can attach the same background image over here in the same manner. But now this background image has been added this way. You get the point? So I have this internal style that has been created within HTML, not an external style sheet. You get my point. This is not an internal style sheet within HTML file. Okay, so you can actually edit this as well. You can do it. No repeat apply, but this is not external style. Should keep in mind. Did I make this point clear? What I'm trying to say? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Right, right. This is an internal style. Okay. Right. Yes.
Sir, there was this question in paper 2014 where we had to prepare an email. Are
So,
we supposed to? Sir,
no,
I'm sending it.
no. It's out of the syllabus now.
Oh,
Email doesn't come now.
okay. Thank you, sir.
Right. No problem.
Sir, can we please discuss color codes again?
Sure. Good part. Very important part as well. Okay, as far as color codes are concerned, for example, in CSS, I'm going to not work on the background. Let's create is a background color code. So what I'll do is I'll just come to new and I'll go into tag, tag, okay, and let's work on the background color. So let's say the examiner says that you're supposed to have a background color. Let's define some. Well, the question says over here is you're supposed to have a background that has red equal to 50% and you have blue equal to 100%. And then you have RGB or green, and green is equals to 23%. So let's talk about a very weird case. Okay, so in case of RGB, what I'll do is, first of all, I have to see what R will be. So we all know that we have 255. Okay, so 0 to 255, these are the color combinations for red, 0 to 255 color combination of green, and 0 to 55 color combinations of blue. So if you multiply all these two values together, there's much millions of color combinations you have in the color palette. Yeah, fine. 50% simply means that 255 divided by 2, which means 127.5. The rule says that whenever we do this, we always round it up. If I round this up, it becomes 128. So this means 50% of 255 is 128 if I'm rounding it up. So what do I do with this 128? What I'll do with this 128 is I'll come to browse, sorry, not browse, color, and I'll come to the color mixer, the system color. And over here, we were referring to red, so I'll make red is 128. Then we had is green, where we decided green to be was 23%. So again, another calculation to be done. So green is 23% on. So 23 divided by 255. What am I doing? Sorry. 23% will be how much? So it's 9.0. So what do we do? You with me?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, did I do it wrong? Is this 23%? No, it's not 23%. What am I doing? Sorry, 1 second. I want to get 23% of 255. How do I do that?
23 divided by
255
100
divided
equals
by 100
55.
255 divided by,
divided by 25 over 100.
not 25, I'm saying 23.
23, sorry.
23. No, but over 100, no.
Sir, it's supposed to be 23 divided by 100 into 255.
Exactly. Into?
255?
No. You say you are right. You said was 23 divided by
100.
So this will be 59. So 59 is for green. So this means in case of green, we write 59. And in case of blue, which we said it's 100%, we will leave it as 255. Okay, remember one thing, that 255, when we type 255, it's the pure color. So 255 means the pure of blue, 255, if I write 255 in red, it's pure red, and same way, so red, green, and blue. Zeros is always black, FF is always white. So these two extreme you should know. 00 black, FF white, 255 means pure color. So if I add, now this is where we got this shade. So this color combination is basically for this shade of blue. It's not blue, it's some sort of, I don't know, bit. It's one of the shade of blue, sort of like. You get the point. Because obviously, just think logically that you put mostly blue and you put just a bit of green and bit of red. So that's where you turn off. So that's the way you calculate. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
And the only important point to remember is round up, please. Because if you round it down, it will all be wrong. Okay, one value makes a lot of difference to the color code. Yes, clear?
Sir, I had a question.
Sure, beta. Yes. I can't hear you, or you're finding out the question.
Sir, it said to insert a placeholder with a video and it should display an automated text-based error message. If the browser does not support this type of video, how should we do this?
Okay. First of all, what we do is you do know how can we attach a video, okay? So even in videos, you have this embedded source thing, okay? So you can browse for any video that you have. I don't have a video. I have this audio actually. So let's say, and then obviously over here you can also have is the sorry small a. Even if it's not appearing, just 1 second. Let me check. We can have the alt. You can have the alt text over here. So alternate, just type the text, just like you have it in an image. You get my point? The same way. So this could be an MP4, this could be an MP3. The same tag is used. Okay, once you're done with this, obviously you have to close the embedded tag. That's the way your particular sound will appear. So if I view this in the browser, I'll obviously get hold on, view. Right? Get the point? It's appearing. Clear, beta?
Sir, so basically the embedded source tag is a placeholder.
Can you ask me repeat the question again, please? If you read it from somewhere or what?
Shanti, can you
Yes,
send a
sir.
screenshot in the group of the question so we can also see?
Yeah, I just want to know what.
Sir, it says in cell B, place in cell B a placeholder containing the video clip and display an automated text-based error message if the browser does not support this type of video.
Okay. Okay. Insert a placeholder in the cell to insert a video, right? Right.
Yes.
So basically, as for a placeholder simply means that, okay, do you have to create a table before all this? Are you referring to,
Yeah.
are you referring to a past paper?
Yes, sir. It was 2020's past paper.
2020 past paper. So if there's a table, in the table, the location of that particular cell is the placeholder. You get my point?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
right. At times, you know what happens is, good you asked me this question. The examiner just wants to test your skills. Will be asking you some very absurd question or in a very different way uh, to confuse some of the students. And this you will notice happens in Excel as well, happens in many modules. So if your concept is clear, if you're not doing, obviously you know, obviously I'm doing this right. You will know it.
Sir, I have a question. Sir, I was doing access yesterday. सर वो
Mhm.
हर वैल्यू को ना राउंड अप कर देता था तो डेसिमल में एग्जैक्ट वैल्यू नहीं देता था तो मैं एग्जैक्ट वैल्यू कैसे डालूं?
अच्छा मैं बताता हूँ आपको एक्सेल में
सर एक्सेस में
अच्छा एक्सेस में आई एम सॉरी ओके नहीं अच्छा ये आई कैन टॉक अबाउट सेक्स्ट इंपोर्ट इसमें पहली बात तो काउंट करता है कि while importing जो the value that you had पहली बात है कि वो डेसिमल में थी या it was a whole number
नहीं सर डेसिमल होल नंबर्स में थी
whole number में थी अच्छा if it's a whole number then obviously you can use is integer or long integer तो उसमें तो नहीं आएगा but if it was decimal remember to use double during the import process to use double and then you will not have a problem.
ओके
You get my point. The only reason we have a problem with decimal is because we don't use double during the import process, and after you've imported, then you are not allowed to change the data type. तब आपने change नहीं करना. Import के time पे ही आपने you have to change it. Keep in mind.
ओके
Did I answer your question, beta?
यस
Right, right, right.
थैंक
Even if there's the slightest ambiguity, please ask me or be prepared for the next class that we will have. Okay. जिस तरह हमें पता चलता है ना फॉर एग्जांपल हमें पता चलता है एकदम में कि ट्यूसडे को एग्जाम है ठीक है ना तो मैं आई विल कीप कंसेक्टिव क्लासेस विद यू हम मंडे को भी रख लेंगे ट्यूसडे को भी रख लेंगे संडे को भी रख लेंगे अगर ऐसा हुआ तो सो डोंट वरी अबाउट दैट आई विल कीप ऑन मीटिंग ओके
सर आई हैव अ क्वेश्चन
जी बेटा बोलो
सर आई सेंड यू पिक्चर्स एज वेल मेरा जो ड्रीम वीवर है ना उसमें मैं अपना सारा कोड लिखती हूँ ना तो वो सारी की सारी जो मेजरमेंट्स है ना वो पिक्सल्स में ही होती है राइट बट फॉर सम रीजन जो ड्रीम वीवर का कोड है ना उसमें px साथ लिखा नहीं होता एंड व्हेन आई चेक्ड द मार्किंग स्कीम उनमें इट सेड कि px के मार्क्स लाइक कटेंगे इफ इट्स नॉट रिटन नेक्स्ट टू इट तो व्हाट शुड आई डू अबाउट इट एग्जाम में भी आई हैड दिस डिफिकल्टी आई हैड टू राइट इट डाउन मैन्युअली here
px was not there
it wasn't although my measurements were in pixels.
Acha. Can you refer? Okay, right. Give me a second. Let me do it. You're referring to this?
Yes, this.
Okay. Just 1 second. Give me 1 second. उसमें बेटा इसमें सेटिंग होती है इस वर्जन में आई जस्ट कांट फाइंड मगर इसमें सेटिंग होती है वो मैं डोंट वरी स्कैन से कंप्यूटर में जाके मैं करता हूँ चेक वो आपका इट विल बी डन ओवर देयर
Right, sir. Thank you. If possible, can you please make a video and send in the group as well? Because like मेरे laptop पे issue आ रहा था बहुत ज़्यादा.
जी आई गेट द पॉइंट गुड इट्स अ वेरी गुड पॉइंट नहीं एनीवे यू बाय डिफॉल्ट सेटिंग में you can set it as px. So whenever you insert, by default px आएगा.
Right, sir.
Okay, right.
Sir, there was this question in the practical about theory regarding layers, the presentation layer and the content layers.
Right.
Can you explain?
Yeah. Okay. So as far as your web authoring is concerned, your web authoring has three basic layers. Your content layer that we refer to is basically uh, HTML. In HTML, you can insert pictures, text, tables, whatever. So in the content, obviously content, videos, sound, all this, they come within HTML. That's the content layer to hold the content. There's a different type of coding which is done through CSS, which is known as your presentation. Presentation in web authoring is done through CSS later. So when you refer to presentation, it's done through cascading style sheet. So if you want to set the font tags, the table tags, the body background, all this will be done through the presentation layer. So that's the second layer that is used in web development. There's a third layer which is known as your behavior layer. The behavior layer basically adds interactivity to a page, or basically gives a life to a page. This is done through basically JavaScripting. JavaScripting does is like validate, when you're validating, it's done through JavaScripting. Or whenever you have an online quiz, or wherever you visit a website, message box pops in and says, chat room opens up and says, we are here to help you. Basically, it's not an actual help person available over there. It's an automated scripting at the back, which seems to look like as if someone is over there. And now very good sophisticated programming codes have been generated where the most commonly FAQs can be answered right away through the code. So if you are asked a question, they will read through the knowledge base and they will answer you right away. And if there's a question which is not obviously in their database, they will say, we'll answer it later. Anyway, I don't have to go into a lot of detail, but the point is, these are the three layers, okay? And this is what you're supposed to write. Is it clear? Yes, beta. Did I answer your question, beta? Is it clear? You can't hear me at times? What is it like?
Oh, sir, it's clear.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
No problem. Next.
There's this question that I was attempting in 2019, May, June 22 paper, and it said that you have to evaluate whether it would, how suitable it is to publish a website on Wiki. So,
Okay, right. So, well, first of all, whenever you publish a website on Wiki,
you said that with reasoning, give a suggestion as well as evaluate how suitable it would be to publish a website over
yeah,
there.
exactly. Right. You do know what a Wikipedia is. It's one of your hyperlink database we call, in which vast amount of information is available. The reason why Wikipedia is there is obviously it's an encyclopedia and it gives you information about everything. So it's basically an online encyclopedia. Now, if you publish your website on Wikipedia, first of all, you do not have the ownership of it. Okay, since you don't have the domain, you don't have the hosting. It's hosted on Wikipedia. Secondly, the formatting of Wikipedia, the website designing is as it is. You can have the content, but you can't customize it according to your way. Okay. Third point is there are chances that information on Wikipedia can be changed, and you can have an idea of it. Okay, so there can be chances of that as well. While I'm evaluating all this, I would obviously at times go for publishing my website, my web page information on Wikipedia, is because as far as the search engine optimization, or in simple words, the search facility in Wikipedia is to a lot of extent. What I mean to say is, If something goes on Wikipedia, it will always be there in the top of the search engines. Okay, I don't have to refer to Google in my answering because we don't have to use specific names. So yes, you might have noticed whenever you're searching for something, the first information that you always get is from Wikipedia. So if you have a web page that has some specific information about you, your organization, and if you want it to come in the top 10, you'll always obviously put it in Wikipedia in that particular case. So these are the pros and cons of putting your web page on Wikipedia. I hope I made it clear. Yes, beta? Any confusion in what I said?
No, sir. Thank you.
Right. Yes, next beta. Right. Okay.
There was a question where we had to crop the image so that it had equal proportion of red on each side. So does that have to be done?
Approximate, not exact. I mean,
Okay.
the question never said to be exact. Okay. So no need to worry. I mean, if 5 to 10 pixels are here and there, that doesn't make a difference. You can even read, if you would read the examiner report, this is what they mentioned over there.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Right. Yes, Oniza, beta, question from you. I'm sorry, Oniza, beta, I'll reply to your answers. It's just that being busy with the. Okay, I didn't want your result is ready with me since a long time. But since some of you said so not to share in the group, do you want me to revise the entire presentation? Okay, Fatma, is it you the one who asked me to share a lecture of presentation, and I did not do it? Can I?
You did share.
So, no, was that enough, or do you want me to share it, revise it all over again? Can I share with you two different videos of presentation? Go through them. If still you have a problem, maybe in the next lecture we can discuss it again.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So I was saying is I did not share your result in the group. Yes, because some of you did not wanted to do it. So obviously, given it to the I will give it to the admin, and you'll get the result next week. Is that fine?
Yes, sir. That's fine.
Yeah, because my A-level students they don't want me to share it. It's their choice. I always ask my students, do you want or not? Exactly. It's fine. Perfectly. Yes. And I've asked all of you, if you have any query and you're stuck, you can message me. There's no harm, no problem. Okay? No, don't hesitate. Don't waste your time if you have an ambiguity and you keep on waiting for me for the class. No, just text me, WhatsApp me. Okay? Yeah, Uniza must be laughing right now. Okay, but I will promise I will try to reply as soon as possible. Right, all of you. Any further question? Do we have to join again, or we are done with the questions?
I think we're done.
Okay, right. Okay, evaluation notes, fine. I will share them again with you, evaluation notes, right? And two lectures, I'm doing it right away as soon as the class ends. Okay, Fatma?
And sir, also, could you also tell us what theory points we need to focus on? Because there are many theoretical questions in the practical paper.
Okay, I'll do that as well. I will do that as well. Fine.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, beta. Okay. See you in the next class, all of you. Okay. Keep me updated whatever information you get, and obviously I will do the same thing. Okay.
Okay, sir.
All the best.